operate most of our activities in a peer environment, so we have groups, small groups, large groups, and we have combined groups where we work at Manchester Enterprise Centre throughout the year. And the idea is that this is a journey with a peer group, so lots of people work together. I know many of them have formed relations now, they work together and they exchange notes, and as startup entrepreneurs they actually do a lot of support for each other, which is one of the things we wanted to develop. So this year we've got now over 31 different startups which have been launched since December 2016. Basically this year we've got a lot of ones you're going to see. We've got ones in healthy ageing tech, we've got ones in blockchain, we've got agricultural technology. There's a whole representation across the university's broad and deep research areas which are actually represented today. This year as well, we've piloted a new specific activity focused at postdoctoral researchers and early career researchers, and this has been ably led by Jess. Jess, can you stand up please? Where are you? At the back. You can't stay at the back. So Jess has been leading on this. Jess is one of our newest recruits to the Optimiser team, and Jess has been with us for a year now, developing this new programme, and you're going to see some of the projects which have been developing from there shortly. We've also been working in increasingly with a programme called iCure. For those of you who don't know, iCure is an Innovate UK funded programme specifically focused on spin-out and start-up companies from universities, and it aims to address a similar problem that exists with many SMEs, which is getting them through the valley of death, as they call it. And basically iCure has been increasingly a route we have been supporting our both spin-outs and start-ups from. And again, we've got lots of success in that area, and we've got again some of the people who've been through it represented today, and hopefully we're going to have more people going through that. So this is just another area where it's becoming a lot more richer for support from Innovate and other areas. And then increasingly we've been working more with Manchester Enterprise Centre, which is based out of Lions Manchester Business School, and this year we've been doing a joint effort together for the projects coming off the Venture Further business competition to strengthen and help them, and we've been really working at a great interface there to develop what was called Venture On. So those are some of the highlights. They don't encapsulate everything, but there's some of the ones which have been really worthwhile this year. Just to talk about a couple of companies to hopefully represent those we do support. This is Ben Dolman. Ben had a project going through UMIP 3. A couple of years ago he won the BBSRC Young Innovator of the Year. In the last 2 years he's also gone on to secure a place on the iCure programme. From there he went on to apply as well to the Royal Academy of Engineering. He became a fellow there of the RAEng, and in both cases has received significant support funding. And then very quickly on the back of that he was backed by a major European clean tech investor. So Ben in 2 years has really done a significant amount forward, and he now has a startup company based in Manchester with about 5 to 6 new start employees. So that's one of the examples of who we work with this year. The other is, I'm sure many of you will know, Samaya Tahiri. Samaya's developed a blockchain-based business which is aiming to help people in fuel poverty and actually use the power of blockchain to help improve people's access to fuels and energy deals as well. Samaya again came from our route with Manchester Enterprise Centre. I've got to stop saying that. Manchester Enterprise Centre. And basically Samaya has done really well. She's been helped by the Business Growth Hub. She's secured a place on the Venture Fest and was a winner in one of those categories. And also she won Venture Further. She's since gone on to iCure So you can see the picture basically. We now have a very connected ecosystem of support both in the university, out of the university, all of which people are starting to get an iterative route out and a process out, so we can support more people on that journey. These are some of our startups, 31 so far. So what next? Well, I'm about to announce some really, really good news. You'll be possibly the first recipients of this, depending on how our press office are. However, I'm hoping that we trump them slightly. So, what is the future? Well, the future looks like the Masood Enterprise Centre plus Innovation Optimiser. Basically, from the 1st of August, we will be merging together with the Masood Enterprise Centre. We've already had the blessing from Andy in UMIP. Lynn's already accepted the proposal, so it should be a marriage made in Manchester. And obviously that with everything, we've got families to put together and, you know, sharing space and things like that, which will all be great to go through. But we've worked with MEC for a number of years. We've worked on a number of significant programmes, the Duke of York's pitch at the Palace, the Young Entrepreneur Scheme, and also the social enterprise. So it was going to happen anyway. It was inevitable. It's like one of those movies you see where people know each other but they're not really, they're friends, and then it sort of comes together. Circumstances prevail, and you know the journey. So there may be a rom-com in there. But obviously the most important thing is that we can now support more at scale. This is the idea. We can now support people from students right through to staff. We have a massive array of programmes which people can come on now. We have a fantastic new centre in the newly opened Alliance Manchester Business School. There's 2 huge flights of stairs which should help me with my fitness and my steps as well, although I keep using the lift, so I'll have to cut that off. And yeah, so basically today's about celebration of that. You've all had fancy cakes, tea cake. That's one thing our team does share in common. If there's a commonality amongst our team, it's cake. Then enterprise support. So, I'd just like to thank my team, Jess, Ellie and Laura. If I was baking a cake, it would be an angel cake. They all support me like angels, and they do miracles as well. So, with that. But I'd also like to thank everybody assembled, our supporters, our associates, our people as yet to be involved. But most of all, I'd like to thank those who've been with us on the journey, who you're going to hear about now. So, I'd just like to introduce Professor Colette Fagan, who's Vice President for Research at the University, to say a few words. Thank you.